Hello everyone, welcome to the 3D market commentary for today. Today is Monday, so hopefully you guys have a good start to your trading week. Now let's just put up the disclaimers. They're there on the top left hand side, so give those a read. If you need to pause the video to do that, then by all means do that. Now, if you are new to this, let me just introduce myself. My name is Becky. My email address is here, becky@tradewithufos.com. And then there's also support@tradewithufos.com, another email that you can email if you have any questions or anything like that. Now, another place you can go for questions and for other resources as well is this link here, which is tradewithufos.com/Becky. Let me just bring that up. That will take you to this page. From here, you can get different platforms and apps. You can book one-on-one coaching. And if you scroll down a bit, you can log in for free and you can ask a question here in this public space, which is great because it means we can answer it there. It becomes like a frequently asked questions section. And you'll find that loads of other people have asked questions before. So you might find the answer to your question here, or you might be doing somebody else that favor to post your question in that area. So 3D market commentary. Let me bring up what we're looking at. So every day we send out an email to our free members that gives information on major world markets, statistics and probabilities associated. Just going to squidge this over a little bit, give myself a little bit more room on the charts. There we go. So in that email, we look at 3 different elements per market. That's why we call it a 3D approach. Now, it's obviously relevant to what's on the charts, so I'll be looking at both here, but it's essentially going through the statistical probabilities associated with major world markets, looking at 3 major elements. So the first element we look at is market climate, which is essentially in which direction is that market likely to keep going in, up, down, or nowhere. We use technology to help. So we use the Auto Climate app, which is a free app on most platforms you can use it on. And that app tells us where the probabilities lie. Ignore the lines, focus on the dots. If we have a thick red dot, that tells us probability is down. A thick blue dot tells us probability is up. And a thin dot of either color tells us probability is in neither direction. So we use that to give us an idea of where the upcoming market direction is likely to be. Then we want to know, where are buy and sell UFOs? UFO in this case stands for unfilled orders. And essentially it's telling us, where do we have buyers that are waiting to buy? And where do we have sellers that are waiting to sell? And that's relevant because buyers are likely to push price up, sellers are likely to push price down. So if we have an idea of where they are, it's easier for us to know where we should be buying and selling. So we use an app again to help us. This app is called Auto UFOs, and it will show us with these little green UFOs and the prices on the right hand side where the buyers are. And it will show us with these little red UFOs with the prices on the right hand side where the sellers are. So we'll look at that per market as well. And we'll look at market volatility, which is how quickly we expect the markets to move. So we'll look at each of these elements per market, going through the relevant information for today. Now, if we scroll down, we will start with the S&P 500. Now, bear in mind, by the way, that everything we're looking at here, we are looking at daily charts. So each of the markets we look at, we're looking at a daily time frame. So the S&P 500 has a thin dot. That tells us not enough probability in either direction. So when there's not enough probability in either direction, we do nothing. There's no need to do anything if we don't have clear probabilities. Now we have buyers beneath us between 44.46.25 to 42.12.75. They've already worked in that price came down, hit the buyers, and went up from there. That's what we expect buyers to do, is push price upwards. Now we also have sellers close by between 45.86 to 45.35.25. So overall, not enough probability either way. Buyers and sellers close by. Whoever has more of them, either more buyers or more sellers, whoever has more will win, and then we'll have a clear direction one way or the other. But for the time being, nothing to be done here for the S&P 500. Now, in terms of volatility, we'd expect that the S&P 500 would move up or down in 1 year by 25.43%. So in a day, 71.79 points. In a week, 158.03 points. And in a month, 328.97 points. That's S&P. Now, the next market here is oil. Now, just to point your attention to the different courses that we do courses in stocks, forex, futures, backtesting, trading plans, and psychology. Now, most of our courses come with a 3-month complimentary access to the apps. AutoClimate, this app down here, is a free app on most platforms you can use it on. Auto UFOs, depending on which platform you use, depends on the price, but it is a monthly subscription model. Now, you can subscribe directly to the Auto UFOs. You don't have to do a course in order to get them. You can just subscribe directly to them and use them on your charts. However, most of the time, doing a course and getting 3 months complimentary access is actually cheaper than just getting the Auto UFOs for 3 months. So check out what's going to work best for you there. So crude oil, we have a thick blue dot. That's probability upwards. Now, we do have buyers beneath us between 89.72 to 86.2 and no sellers above us. So overall, probability up here for oil. In terms of volatility, we would expect movement up or down in 1 year by 42.15%. In a day, 2.43 points up or down. In a week, 5.36 points up or down. And in a month, 11.16 points up or down. That's crude oil. Now, the next market is gold. So let's just bring up a gold chart as well. As I load this, just to highlight here about our coaching and support. We do offer a bunch of coaching and support for free on YouTube and Facebook and places like that where you can join our coaching. We obviously have our frequently asked questions area. You can log in for free and ask questions there. So we're happy to help and support for free in many different platforms. Now, we also have an all-asset advanced coaching, which is a small monthly fee that gives you access to more features as part of our sort of unique members there. Okay, so with gold, we have a thick red dot, probability down. However, we have been going down for longer than what would be normal in terms of a move to the downside. So wouldn't be surprised if that changes perhaps tomorrow. Now, we have buyers here between 1781.3 to 1753. They already worked twice. So price came in, hit the buyers, moved up, came back, hit the buyers, moved up. That's what we expect buyers to do, is push price up. That's why we want to know where they are so that we can buy with them. So those buyers have pushed price up, most likely going to push price to the point where it no longer has probability down. Saying that, we do have sellers up here, which is 1854.2 to 1829.3. If price were to get up here, we would expect that they would push price down. Overall, I would say it's not actually clear in either way. There's not a clear room to one side or the other here for gold. So I would say maybe wait till tomorrow, see what happens there, see how we confirm ourselves one way or the other, and then go from there with gold. In terms of volatility, we'd expect movement up or down in 1 year by 16.01%. So that's in a day, 18.3 points. In a week, 40.29 points. And in a month, 83.86 points, either up or down. That's gold. Okay, now the next market is the US dollar. So let's load this and switch it. So with the US dollar, thick red dot, probability to the downside. We have a little way below us some buyers between 94.645 to 93.865. Again, they already worked, came in, price came in, hit the buyers, was pushed up from there. Again, that's why we want to know where they are. We have sellers further away between 97.44 to 97.05. We're quite far away from the relative stacks of buyers and sellers. So overall, the probability here is coming to the downside, and it's coming from our red auto climate there. So probability down. In terms of volatility on the US dollar, we would expect movement up or down in 1 year by 6.96%. So in a day, 0.42 points. In a week, 0.92 points. And in a month, 1.94 points. That's the US dollar. Now, last but not least is bakkt Bitcoin. So let's load this. As I load that, just to point down here to our top platform, top standing for Traditive Options Planner. Now, even if you're not an options trader, top is a great platform to use. We use it in most of our sessions for things like stocks and futures and even analysis for Forex as well. Okay, so bakkt Bitcoin. We've had quite a sharp move up in the last couple of days there. So we've got a thick blue dot now, probability to the upside for the first time in weeks. In fact, let's squidge this. The last time we had probability to the upside was the 15th of November. So we have just seen this change there. Bear in mind, we do have some sellers here between 47,610 to 45,705. If price were to come up here, we might expect these sellers would start to push us back down again, but we've got a little way to go before we get there. We have buyers further below us at 37,097.5 to 36,312.5. So bear that in mind, but overall probability for today being up here for bakkt Bitcoin. Now, in terms of volatility, we would expect that Bitcoin would move up or down in 1 year by 82.65%. So in a day, 1,975.98 points. In a week, 4,349.92 points. And in a month, 9,055.09 points. Again, either up or down. So for each of our markets, we have looked at 3 statistical areas. The first thing we looked at is market climate. Where do we have probabilities that that market moves? Up, down, nowhere. We've used auto climate to help us figure that out. Did we have a thick blue dot, probability up, a thick red dot, probability down, or a thin dot, therefore probability neither way? We looked at that per market. We've then looked at buy and sell UFOs. Where do we have buyers that could push price up? Where do we have sellers that can push price down? And where are the prices? And then we've looked at volatility. What's the likely movement up or down within given periods of time? So within 1 year, up or down, 1 day, up or down, 1 week, up or down, or 1 month, up or down. Now, bear in mind, everything we're talking about, yes, is to do with statistics and probabilities, but it's not guaranteed. Nothing ever is in life, and unfortunately not in the markets. It's all to do with what's likely to happen and how we manage our risk. So even if something is likely, doesn't mean it's definite. Make sure you manage your risk either way. Now, one last thing to look at before we round off for today is our weekly economic calendar. Now, this is actually Friday's weekly economic calendar, or this is Friday's what they're called, news flash that we sent out. So if you get the updated one for today, you will see a different economic calendar, but we get it from fxstreet.com. So go to fxstreet.com, have a look at the economic calendar. You can filter by high impact news, which tells you the scheduled news reports that are likely to have an impact and perhaps create movement. And you can filter by the markets or the countries that you trade in as well. So I'd recommend that you do that to have an idea of how the news might affect your trading this week. Now, any questions, you can, of course, email me, which is becky@traditive.com. Or even better, you come to this link. You can get apps and platforms, as we said. You can book coaching. But if you scroll down, you can log in for free and you can post questions here, which allows us to answer questions there, and everybody learns from this environment. So today being Monday, I will wish you guys a great start to your trading week. I will see you again soon. Have a great day. Take care. Bye-bye.